Hello, this is Bruce again, and I wanted to start a conversation about jobs and the creation of jobs and who's the best uh, force to do that. I wanted to play off of an interview that I saw yesterday between Glenn Beck and Adam Carello. Um, they had a discussion about how they have become successful, and um, and I thought it was very interesting. If you ever get a chance to see it, do so. I never really heard of Alan Carello, but apparently he has a very successful talk radio show on the internet and has become very successful. But the main reason Beck was interviewing him, besides that, was the fact that uh, he's come under attack because he told the occupiers to get off their butts and go get a job and earn some money. And therefore he's called cruel, or he's called out of touch, or he's doesn't know what he's talking about, or he's a bigot, either one, or any of them. But both he and Beck had the ability to not be concerned about anybody else having to say anything about them because they have their own programs and their own ability to get their message out, and they're not beholden to anybody. So that always helps them. But when we consider uh, the ethic of work and whether work is important or not, we are battling with one of these destructions of our culture that I've talked about previously. Um, we have seen a continuing um, destruction of the desire to work or the ability to work by Obama's policies. He has emboldened or forced people basically to get on food stamps, get on unemployment in order to survive. They have no other choice. And while those may be um, good stopgaps, they've actually become fairly permanent for an awful lot of people. And people don't want to take a job because then they lose um, those benefits. And probably in most states, like here in Tennessee, if you're a single mom or something, that means that you also get health care coverage. So all of these things go into it as to why you won't get a job now or can't get a job, because you're going to lose far more benefits. But it ignores the practical side of the fact is that there are now less taxpayers to pay for all these benefits, and at some point, somewhere down the road, the money's going to run out. And that means that those people that are on those benefits are going to find them restricted or even cut off. There is no other way around it. We can't keep paying everybody. It's impossible. But the more important thing is that it has destroyed the desire or the willingness to get out and do something on your own. You may not become rich at whatever you decide to do, like Mr. Beck and Mr. Carello, but at least you're contributing something to society. You're contributing a job, and therefore you have something that you can hold on to yourself, something you can say to your kids, I do this. Um, and maybe your life is more fulfilled in other ways. Um, but so many of our kids don't see it that way anymore. And I think these occupiers for Wall Street are perfect examples of it. They really don't have anything to contribute. They don't want to change anything except to destroy what's there. They don't have anything in its place. They don't give any philosophy what takes the place of capitalism. They just want to be given something. And mostly what they're doing is giving power to people like Obama and the other Democrats who use them for whatever purpose they have. But they are not accomplishing anything. They're not like the Tea Party, who is trying to elect people that believe in their philosophy. They're trying to change things through the system. All they're doing is occupying. It means nothing. That's why most people just don't even pay attention to them. Here in Chattanooga, we're having to pass special laws just to get them off of the stupid property of the courthouse. It makes absolutely no sense to have to do that. They're afraid of lawsuits, they're afraid of bad publicity, or whatever it is. I don't know. But there is no reason to do that. They ought to just throw them off. But the Democrats have given them some kind of status, and that status says that the law has to go to extreme measures in order to get rid of them. I know that I could never just go and set up a tent and start building a fire and then even leave the tent when I'm not even there. That's the most ridiculous thing about it. They don't even stay there all the time. But as I've also spoken about before, about the lies and the truth, none of these people understand what truth is. They just say lies that they've been taught. And I call them lies because they don't understand what they're doing, really. At least in my mind. They're trying to replace a system that they think is corrupt, but they don't want to replace it with anything that's better. It appears that most of the occupiers would go down the route of a bigger government taking control of everything. That they think that government, for some reason, is going to be better or more honest than private enterprise. And the individual greed or individual want, for a better way of saying it, and how that controls everybody. We all want something, and so we either work for it or we find help through someone in order to get to that objective. And sometimes we have to say to ourselves, we can't get everything that we want. And I think something that these young people don't seem to even want to consider. But the truth is that if they get some crazy takeover of private enterprise, it's going to continue to mean less jobs and be more dependent upon government, and therefore you're going to have a very unsatisfying life. And I think that's the important aspect about America and our history, is that we have never let government or rich people or whatever totally decide how our life should be led, as most Europeans and other cultures have. We have created a system where you can rise above what you want, or be satisfied where you are, maybe rise above your position by being able to help others. You don't have to have a lot of money to do that, but you do have to decide if there's value beyond constantly having things. Is the value of family or the value of helping others more important sometimes than actually getting more wealthy? And I think that most people that do become wealthy use their resources to help others that are less fortunate. And I think that comes from our Western civilization, but in particular our Christian background in this culture. And Judaism also says that. And so, using this conversation with Beck, I just want to say that anyone who is deciding that government is the end-all for their lives is making a mistake. There is no growth when you're dependent upon somebody else for everything that you have or everything that you need. There is no risk. There is no joy in success, because there will be hardly any success if all you got to do is wait for government to decide whether or not you're going to get medical care, or whether you're going to take a job in this place or that place, or whether or not they can decide if you can serve this food or that food, or go see this doctor or that doctor. If that's the way our lives will become, well, in my mind, that would be a very, very small life. And if you get a chance to listen to this interview, I think you'll see two guys that will not settle for that. And I want to encourage myself and others to continue to look for ways to be of help to others, and find a way to be satisfied with life. It's always one of those kind of catch-22 things, but it is possible. It is something that I keep trying to also get to also. But I think that we all know deep down that there's more to life than just our own self-centered needs, and we need to reach for those kind of things, reach things that are more important than just ourselves. I think success, from a money standpoint, or whatever way that you find success, will only become enhanced by helping others along the way. So I appreciate your time. Thank you.